So you find me outside this morning getting ready to jigsaw this shape out. So this is the Rudge TT oil tank, and although these hieroglyphics won't mean much to you, hopefully they're going to mean something to me. And when I've finished jigsawing it out, we're going to have the basic profile of the oil tank, and then also down here, if you can see this bit, this triangle shape is going to be the bottom oil supply. So anyway, I'll bring you back in a bit after I've made some mess. A bit of noise and a lot of metal filings later, and we got the basic shape. Just needs a bit of a clean up, just to make sure I've got it right on the edges. Try and cut it as close to the edge as I can to relieve or reduce any sort of amount of filing, yeah, hopefully you can imagine what that's going to look like when it's all folded up. So the feed plate, which hopefully you'll see develop into something you might recognise in a minute. And here's the other part of that, which I'm just about to cut out. Okay, so this is the bottom feed for the tank, and basically I've lined up a scribe line along the bottom of the level with the vice jaw, and we're just going to fold it over and do the same with the other. Just want to make sure it's perfectly lined up. Make sure you can see that. So that is a right angle 10mm flange. So we'll just do the other one. You might just sneak it along so this flange doesn't catch on the edge of the vise. So 2 flanges. And what we're going to do now is fold it over a piece of tube or piece of bar and get the radius that I'm looking for, which is about 35mm. This might be a bit more tricky, but we'll give it a go. So now I'm going to bend it around this bar, and I've just put this bolt in here, just literally to clamp that, because the vice jaws are wider than the gap between this flange and the flange below it. So and it won't really matter where this is in relationship to this at the moment, as long as I can fold it over and I can readjust. So as long as we're square to it, we'll end up with a let's see what goes on. And we sort of know we're right when this is looking like it's directly below or vertical. That's what I'm looking for at the moment. Looks pretty good. Okay, second half. That wasn't supposed to happen. But you get the idea. We're very much almost there. Just needs a little bit more. In fact, I'd say, looking at that both sides are pretty even to the centre. So I probably need to do a bit of a tweak on both. Now you can see I've not put a flange on that bit yet. So when those two pieces are flat on the ground, we'll make a piece to fill in that, and then we'll make the piece that goes in there as well. Let me set that up again and let's see what I can do. Alright, hopefully it won't fall out the voice this time, and we'll see if we can just get this a little bit further around. Unfortunately we're not gripping on very much here. Almost. Right, a bit more jury rigging. So we'll just have the bar. I think what's happening is we're hitting it and I can't grip the bar hard enough, so I'm using a G-clamp to clamp it against that, and I'll try and tap this bit over. But I think we might need to rename this series Making Things Without Any Tools. But if it was easy, everyone would do it. I'm going to use the flat end against the piece of metal because the clamp end, or the pivoting end, tends to mark the metal if you use that, which is not ideal. Ask me how I know. What we're going to do now is we're going to cut a piece to follow that shape, cut that section out, and basically make a rib that's going to go around the outside and weld that up, because that would have been almost impossible to do in one piece. And then with that, we're going to fold that 90 degrees. We're going to poke a hole in here, which is the size of the fitting that we're going to be using for the oil pipe. And obviously I'm going to dress this round here and turn that into a radius that matches that radius there. So let me do a bit of that and I'll bring you back. $14mm, so we need a 14mm hole in there. Perfect. Okay, let's catch up this morning. So in the vise is the fitting for the oil tank I'm going to weld together, and that is the what should we call it, the drain, I suppose, if you like, which is in a couple of bits at the moment. I'm going to weld that together and then weld that to that. So stand by.